Welcome to Unintentionally Offensive, where the only movie we enjoy is Brokeback Mountain. I'm Caden.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Eric, and please welcome our fourth host, Danny. Danny's a mute, so you're not really going to hear anything from him, but we do have somebody to blame for all the dead air. Oh, by the way, fuck you, Danny. Get the fuck out. He kicked off the show immediately. No fourth host, guys.
Take him out back and shoot him. Take him out back and shoot him. Fuck Danny.
What's up, guys?
I don't know
You're
what to
aware-
say to any of that.
You gotta say fuck you, Danny. Like, he's the reason why we have all the dead air, because he's a fucking mute. Side
we
note,
offer
don't
him
make
time to
fun of
talk.
mutes in real life.
Well, it depends on what mutes you should make fun of. If they volunteer to be a mute, make fun of them. But if they can't do it because, like, if they can't talk because, like, of an accident or something, that's not cool to make fun of them. That wasn't their choice. If they choose to be a mute, though, that's cringe.
I mean,
I'm a bad
sometimes, man, like, just not talking is a valid thing. I used to watch videos from this retired mob boss called Michael Francis on YouTube. He's, like, got a lot of viewers, and he had, like, this scam that he was running. And I watched, like, a video conference, and he had all these rules, and, like, they sounded good, but they wanted your money. But the funniest, like, but realist rule was, like, speak only when it adds to the silence, and it's like, oh, okay, don't sound like a moron, gotcha. We're on the wrong show for that.
Very much so. Like, we stay sick. Yeah.
Point taken.
Yeah. I'm not going to try to correct myself. I'm just going to stop.
We're not sober, and we should be pulled over.
I am sober.
As am
Except
I.
for
but
the heroin
also
I
shouldn't be
injected.
driving right now.
I'm sober, but I was making a silly joke, because all the click it or ticket or drive sober or get pulled over ads are fucking cringe as shit.
Yeah, drive drunk. Take that family of
Drive
four.
drunk.
I
Kill a
believe in
family
you.
of four. Live a little.
Kill that child. Run over that child who went into the street to get his ball. What was he doing in the street? He shouldn't have been there. God put you in that car to kill children.
Are you making a Toxic Avenger reference? Like, have you actually seen that? This is a real question. Yes, there's a movie called The Toxic Avenger, and there's a lot that I could explain about that movie that I really don't want to right now while we're recording, for a lot of reasons. But, like, it's a good movie for the most part. You do gotta take it with a grain of salt. It was made in the 80s for people who were, like, super PC. But there is a point in that movie where they where the bad people like straight up like run over a kid's head like watermelon, and this is like a little kid that rode a tricycle.
Why? Just to like, prove that they were evil?
Just to establish that these were evil fucking people. But all in all,
is bad, all right.
Well, that sounds like it wasn't vehicular manslaughter. That sounds like it was vehicular homicide.
Yeah, it was intentional.
That's not covered by insurance either, so don't do it.
Unless you're feeling ballsy.
Yes, you back there. Yep, yeah, you, the one pointing to yourself right now. Yeah, you specifically don't do it.
The one who's already down to 12 beers and thinks, "Oh, I should get an Uber home." You're a coward if you get in that Uber. Drive drunk. I want you.
I was gonna say, get a lift. Don't do Uber.
Fucking take this shit back to the fucking 1500s and walk your ass home, you fucking pathetic loser. I bet you need to lose weight anyway. You just drink like so many beers, all them calories. Yeah, fucking take a hike.
I can't wait to be in the courtroom, and they're like, "So, Caden, this man who ran over a family of four, like, you told him to do it? Like, he said the internet funny man told me to do it." It's like, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. And, like, they play the clip where I'm specifically telling people to drive drunk, and I'm like, yeah, that's out of context.
Hey, I have a problem with this story.
Well, no, they called you an internet funny man. You're not funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a problem with this story. We are not internet funny men. We're not
I like
funny.
to. I like to pretend.
We're
that I
not
am.
funny. We're not funny. We suck and we're losers, and that's okay because the people that listen to us suck even harder or even bigger losers.
I thought you were about to have a. I thought you were about to have a Goonies moment. It's our time down here. It's
Oh,
our time, and up
oh
there it's
no.
their time. Someone should have shot that kid.
I
What
think
were those
the
guys called?
Goonies.
The bad guys that were chasing them.
I don't remember. I just
wish
know
they
that
caught
the
up to the
Goonies
Goonies
is
Yeah, well,
overrated
it's
as
something
fuck.
Italian.
I just
What
know
are you
it's an
talking about? The Goonies
overrated
is great.
series of like, isn't there like a sequel that's not connected to the original at all? There probably is because it's a 1980s movie.
There's a Goonies 2 video game. Apparently, the Goonies 1 was released Japanese only.
But yeah, I just feel that's an overrated movie. Like it's fine.
Didn't they make like a sequel like kind of recently?
I looked up the Goonies 2, and it's a 2027 film. This shit ain't even out yet.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it says the Goonies 2, 2027.
That's cool.
Chunk is gonna be dead by then.
Chunk has been dead since like 2 years after that movie came out. He died in a horrible car accident.
Oh shit!
Did he actually?
The guy who played the troll or whatever.
No, that's Sloth.
That's
Sloth
Chunk
died
is
in
the
a
fat
car accident. I think that guy's alive. But yeah, Sloth fucking bit it like 2 years after that movie. Horrible car accident. I think.
Yeah, but like, I mean, like you can recast Sloth. It was all facial prosthetics. But I mean, Corey Feldman like died like 5 or 6 times.
That looked like that.
No. Shut up.
I look at God.
Corey Feldman died like 5 or 6 times. I'm sure. Like that dude was addicted to everything because he was a child actor, and you know how that goes. Because he was in Friday the 13th Part 4.
Yeah,
Goonies,
not many.
Stand by Me.
Not many child actors like make it out. Even.
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
look at Macaulay Culkin. He looks like me if I was addicted to meth.
Man.
You're
Look,
not wrong.
like,
It's really funny.
I kind of wonder if he would have been better off if Michael Jackson adopted him. Like, I kind of wonder, because like he had it rough for quite a few years.
Yeah, quite a few. Let's pretend it was only a few.
He's better now. Like he's getting better.
He was on a MythBusters episode, I think.
Yeah, like dude is starting to be like happy with where he's at in life. Yeah,
He was on.
He was.
I watched this guy called the Modern Rogue. It's these two dudes that like are like YouTube MythBusters, pretty much, except they actually like each other. And he was on an episode of that where they yeah, no, we all hate each other. At the end of every podcast, like I swear, the amount of times Eric like constantly brings up that he's the one that sold my dad the heroin that killed him, it's like it's unnecessary.
Well, like, there's that, and then there's just the fact that,
and
like...
the fact that he's fucking your mom all the time.
I'm fucking his mom all the time.
Why do you think he sold my dad the heroin? He gave my dad the heroin to kill him so he could fuck my mom.
He could have just cucked your dad. Like, you didn't have to kill him.
But, like, there's an eventual point in the stream where, like, I've been interrupted so much by Caden that, like, when we shut off, I'm just like, dude, like, pull your pants down. I'm gonna cut your nuts off and throw them in the microwave. Like, we hate each other.
Yeah, he manifested in my house one time after fucking my mom. He came downstairs and he's like, "Hey, Caden," and he like smashed my head into my $1,000 gaming laptop, and like now I'm recording off of a fucking Nokia.
That's what you get for buying a fucking gaming laptop instead of a desktop.
I didn't buy it; it was given to me.
Because, like, man, if you're spending over $1,000 on laptop gamers, if you have the space, please just build a desktop because you can upgrade it. And
I never look. I was given the laptop. I was given.
Oh no! This is a PSA. This is a PSA. You got your shit for free, and I'm not gonna judge you for it. You got your bag, baby. But like, if you are out there trying to get into PC gaming and you think you want a laptop and you don't know anything about computers yet, to play a lot of video games like at a high level in a laptop, you gotta spend a lot of money, and if you're spending over $1,000, like rule of thumb, look into getting a desktop instead, because you'll be able to upgrade it a lot easier, because it's basically impossible for like regular people to like properly upgrade laptops still. Like, we're getting better at it, but like at the same time, it's not worth your time unless you just don't have the space. Plus, like, also it becomes a lap warmer, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it do get hot. But
so
yeah.
Caden, what are you playing today? Not to interrupt
Faith.
you.
Yeah,
Nah,
I'm
good.
playing Faith on my $1,000 gaming laptop, Eric.
Just start making it rain.
Again,
Yeah,
you got it for free.
Yeah. I would tell the story about it, but I feel like that's a bit personal to my buddy. I mean, I guess if I don't use names or whatever, it's not a big deal, but I don't know. I'd have
You
to
can
ask
call
him.
him Big Chungus.
Alright, so my buddy Big Chungus, much like me, lost his father, and so he got his father this $1,000 laptop, and the store he bought it from had like a 0 return policy because it was out of the return date or whatever. And so he's like, hey, do you want this laptop? And it's like, I don't know if I feel morally okay doing that because this was for your dad. Kind of croaked. He's like, look, I got nothing I'm going to do with it. I have the same laptop. Like, just take it, please. And I was like, fine.
That means you're his dad now. It's a binding contract. When's the last time you fucked his mom? Slacking on your
mom's
duties.
Also dead.
When's the last time you fucked his mom, Caden? I didn't stutter.
Anyway, I'm playing Faith because Faith is a horror game, and it's spooky month. And you know what today is, guys? Today's Friday the 13th. Woo!
You can't tell them our recording dates ever again. They never need to know. Because it's so funny telling them that we're recording on September 10th, 2001.
Oh!
Live from the Twin Towers.
Again, no. I might have said this on one of our previous shows. I'm pretty sure out there somewhere, like, a couple was making a fucking porn video while the towers were falling and they didn't know it until they were done. Somewhere in New York, a couple probably did.
I clicked the hide button on my thing and it fucking showed, like, everything.
Your internet history especially.
Yeah, all that furry porn that you looked up.
I'm pretty sure the only thing in my search history, if it's still even in there from what we were talking about pre-recording, was, like, Katy Perry songs, because I was
Katy
like,
Perry
I only know, like... No, because I only knew 4, like, Katy Perry songs. It's Kissed a Girl, Hot and Cold, Firework, and then the other one that everyone knows, Roar.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what song my brother did at karaoke where he dressed in drag, and I cannot remember because I was incredibly drunk.
Andrew, you're always incredibly drunk. It's a problem. That's
the way you should be. The way you should be when you have to hang out with your brother.
And he's sober now. He
sure is. I don't think I've hung out with sober other Eric. I actually don't know if I've hung out with him since he's been sober.
I don't think you have, because it's...
I don't think I have.
Because I think the last time we hung out with him was that my birthday a couple years back?
I think so. I just know, like, one of the times that we hung out with him is when I pre-ordered the Vampire Masquerade Book and Nod Artifact Edition, which is coming soon, TM, to my door in the next month or two, hopefully.
Fun. Yeah, congratulations on him. He's been sober for, I think, almost 2 years. I'm sure he's posted.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Because
my grandpa's been sober for 20 years.
He's probably also been dead for 20 years.
Oh, my grandpa's still alive.
I was gonna make the joke of how long's your dad been dead?
4 years? 3 years?
Man, that's a long time to not have any heroin for a recovering heroin addict.
My dad
Good on
was,
him.
My dad was... I was 15 when my dad died. 19 now, but he died and then I turned 16 like 2 months later. So, yeah, like 3.5 years-ish, maybe. It gets confusing because of like the fact that like I was 2 years like in that same year. It doesn't make sense, but it kind of does.
I feel it. I've had family members pass away. Like it's an ordeal for sure, especially if you know, or there's the possibility, because like I had a parental figure that had cancer, and like they had been dealing with it for a couple of years, and they just died due to complications. But you know, it's always in the back of your head, and it's just a long process. And
yeah,
you know, like for me, I was like in a terrible state of mind, and like also like had just graduated, was still like full of angry fucking cum, and needed to like go out in the world, and I was like getting my apartment and living by myself and all that, doing all those steps, and like it was a lot, man. And it's hard going through the world when you're still full of angry cum too. For viewers that don't know, because you probably don't, I refer to angry cum as like just somebody who doesn't fuck for like whatever reason. Like they just don't fuck, so they're just full of angry cum if they're like an angry person. And this comes from, I was watching Game of Thrones with a friend, and like the royal guard to guard the royal family, like they're supposed to be celibate and never have sex. And I made a joke with my friend. I'm like, yeah, it's because they're full of all that angry cum, and they'll never lose a fight. Yeah. Angry cum. It's finally been explained. You're welcome.
Just looked it up. My brother has been sober for 2 years and 3 months.
You looked that up? I didn't know he was that famous.
No, he just posts a lot.
Oh, okay.
Like, he basically has 3 things in his life that define who he is: his love for Madonna, being gay, and being sober.
Now his sobriety. He is becoming a full-fledged character.
I was gonna say, he doesn't really need to like post that he's gay if he's posting about how much he loves Madonna.
Understandable.
And Madonna's like, everyone loves Madonna if they're gay. I don't like Madonna.
Yeah, that's kind of a rule.
What songs did Madonna even make?
She's made too many of them. She's made too many of them. She can retire anytime she wants and fuck all the 23-year-olds that she wants. You know, she's done it.
That's like most people though, like at like Madonna's age.
Yeah.
Anyway, in honor of Spooky Month, you know, this is the month.
You gotta have sex with Madonna. Ooh!
That would be utterly terrifying.
I was gonna say, do you guys have any like ghost stories, like personal experiences with? And I'm paraphrasing, not paraphrasing. I'm doing air quotes when I say this next word, ghosts, because like, you know, like you can never really prove if it was a ghost or not. You can like say it was, but causation does not equal consequences, blah
Correlation
blah
is
blah
not
bullshit.
causation.
Yeah, stuff like that.
The
But
amount
like,
of
I
ice
mean,
cream sandwiches eaten doesn't correlate. It might correlate with the number of like head-on collisions that happen in Zimbabwe, but it doesn't mean they're related.
exactly.
Like,
I came without touching my dick once. Does that count?
did you see a white figure in your room?
How did you
I mean,
come
there
without
have
touching
been
your dick? What
there
does
have
this have to do with
been-
ghosts?
There have been white figures in my room after I came. Does that count?
Why is every episode derail to us talking about cum?
I started this
man.
with ghosts. I was talking about ghosts.
Man,
and now we're
I
talking
can't
about
wait.
cum.
I can't wait to tell you my work story because there is
So,
a little bit of cum
Speaking
involved.
of ghosts, one time when I was visiting the Deep South,
Insert banjo noise here.
I was referencing the KKK.
Oh,
Because ghosts in the Deep South.
oh no.
Anyways.
Oh no.
Anyways, no, fun fact.
Andrew's a part of that group, by the way.
What's wrong with that?
I've seen him dressed up as a ghost 100 times.
It's
million
funny to
times
see the look
even.
on Khalil's face. Anyways, back into the story of reality. I used to live. I grew up in a house that was like almost across the street from a graveyard.
Right.
Quietest neighbors I've ever had.
No, alright, fine. Like, come on.
The reference went over my head.
That's
my
the opening to the Whitest Kids You Know.
Oh, okay. They have great bits. But yeah, I live
They do.
practically right across the street from a graveyard, and I do know. I remember when I was younger, I was hanging out with one of my friends, and I just kind of glanced over there, and I could have sworn I saw like a translucent blue figure standing over one of the graves. I turned to my buddy.
Little
It's like,
green
"Hey,
man.
did you see that guy standing over there?" And they looked like there's nobody over there, dude. And I look back and there's nobody there.
I mean, like, I'm pretty sure everyone, like, in the corner of their eyes, like, at some point in their life has seen, like, shadow people and all that shit.
Yeah.
I also, like, unrelated, like, next to the house that I grew up in, like, it's on a hill. Top of the hill, there's a graveyard, so, like, the plot of land next to mine was a graveyard, and I'm pretty sure everyone in that graveyard is a World War I or World War II vet.
So not to interrupt you, but has there ever been a heavy rain so heavy that like a corpse has just come rolling down the hill?
No. They buried him real good.
Shame.
Plus, like, landslides were not really common where I'm from. Like, I've only ever, like, saw one or two of them. But, like, never any, like, big enough to just have a bunch of corpses in our yard, unfortunately, because that would have been, like, the most metal day ever.
That would have been the best Halloween decorations ever.
Oh, man, like, I like how every couple of years, like, you find out that at haunted houses and corn mazes, like, there was a dead body at those. Or on a movie set, like, yeah, one of those props was a real dead body. Like
in
those
Wizard
are
of
always
Oz when there was a
fun.
Munchkin that actually hung itself.
That is a myth.
I know it's a myth. I just wanted
That
to say
is
it
a
because it's
myth.
funny.
Judy Garland on heroin, that is fact.
That is an unfortunate fact.
The snow in that movie was asbestos.
It was asbestos. Well, there's a lot of really interesting stuff. Well, I don't know if interesting is the right word. Like
Fucked
the
up.
lion like nearly died of heat stroke like every day. The Tin Man's like was copper paint. The witch caught on fire because her makeup was also copper paint or whatever.
Right, like that movie was made by people who either like didn't know better at times or like were just terrible people.
I'm gonna
They
say
Arthur
both.
Morgan'd it. They were just like money.
Yeah, it's a little bit
Money.
of both. It's a little bit of both.
I do have
Plus,
another
you
ghost
know.
story, and if nobody else has one.
I have a few, and like, I'm not sure how accurate like any of them are because most of them are like, I mean, I'm only 19. Most of my ghost stories are I'm a little kid, so I had a creative imagination every time.
I also
Obviously,
feel children are like more susceptible to the supernatural,
what do you mean by
or
that?
like more apt to see it because their minds are more open to it. If that makes sense.
Right, like you're saying that they've actually seen ghosts, but like adults are like, huh, you're a fucking 2-year-old. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Leo.
Shut the fuck up.
But no, I don't really have any. I've had an open mind, but also like I don't break any of the rules for most supernatural things because if it is real, I'm not trying to like piss it off, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like there's a specific Native American folklore that like even saying its name is like bad, like because it gives it more power, and like
I'm assuming not the
I've had to
Wendigo.
no one similar to that, but no, not that one. And I've had to like tell a roommate like, hey man, like I know that we're not, you know, like we don't participate in those beliefs, but like why would you ever just be like intentionally like doing the one thing you're not supposed to do, like in case like for whatever crazy reason like it is real, like why would you like even
Causation.
be willing, yeah, like why would you
ever
even be
use a Ouija
willing,
board?
yeah, like exactly, like that's one of the rules that you don't break, like because if it is real and you like do something stupid and you get your neck broken, like that's a real dumb way to go out, like you just didn't have to do that thing.
So, have either of you
But
ever actually used a Ouija board?
nope.
In a video game once.
Because I have.
I again, like
Yeah,
there are
you mentioned it
small
last time. You said it was
rules.
the creepiest thing that's like you've been part of or whatever.
Yeah, it was one of the creepiest things I've ever been part of. So it was. There were four people. I don't remember who the fourth one was, but it was me, my brother, his girlfriend at the time, and it was either my other brother or one of their friends. But you know, we got the Ouija board out and we started asking, "Hey, are there any spirits here?" We got an answer. It's like, okay, what is your name? And it started spelling something, and then it just went to a bunch of random letters. And then we asked, "Are you a friendly spirit?" And it immediately snapped to no.
Did you tell it goodbye?
I
You're
hope
supposed to
so.
tell it goodbye.
I really hope so, but I honestly do not remember.
Yeah, because that's like if you're gonna use a Ouija board, that's the number one rule. You have to tell it goodbye. Have to.
But just like, for example, since he's playing this game, like the creepy animations with the rotoscoping, like that's how the little thing on the, I don't know what the thing's called, the little like eye piece thing that
Yeah, that's how it moved.
Yeah, it didn't just move like nice and smooth. It like jerked.
Pinched.
It didn't move in a way that a human would have moved the thing. It did not move in a way like somebody at the table was pushing it and the other people were resisting it. It did not move naturally. It was really creepy. And I will never touch a Ouija board ever again.
You were dumb for doing it the first time.
I was like 7 years old. I didn't know any better.
Again,
I was probably older than that because it was my brother, but because I didn't really talk to my brother all that much when I was younger, so it was like I don't remember exactly how old I was. I think at the oldest I was like 10 years old.
Right.
Like I was a stupid kid and I just went along with it because hey, that's what they're doing.
I want to be grown up.
I want to break free.
Song.
So the other ghost story I have, it happened. Trying to put a time frame on this. It happened when I want to say like 12. I was young. My grandma on my stepdad's side had passed away from cancer, and my grandpa couldn't really maintain his house by himself because he was also sick with cancer. So me and my mom would go over to his place, do his laundry, do his dishes, clean up a little bit, mow the yard, basically just doing a bunch of little housework. There were 2 rooms in that house that I could not stand to be in. I would walk into that room, and I can't describe the feeling.
It feels like you're being watched, and it feels like at any time something terrible can happen.
Yeah, I walk into the room and just something feels off.
My mom's bedroom was like that growing up. I don't know why, but was.
There was probably a spirit living in it. One room I chalked it up to, it was just a creepy room because my grandma liked to collect these little porcelain dolls.
Yeah, that's not freaky at all.
No, not at all. I chalked the one room up to that. The other room, there's nothing wrong with the room. It was just a bedroom. But it felt like there was something in the room anytime I walked in there. So we did this every now and then. I think like every other week we'd go over there and whatever. And every time my mom would ask me to help her clean that one room, and I'm like, I don't feel right being in this room. So anyways, some amount of time passed, and my grandpa passes away. We go over to his house to clean it up one last time, and I no longer feel that like weirdness in either of those rooms. So my theory is that presence I was feeling was probably my grandma.
It was attached to him in some way, most likely. As far as my mom, as far as my mom's room though, like it was only when she was never in it, so I don't know what's up with that. Like if she was there, like because we watched movies in her room all the time and it was fine, but like just like being alone in there, like fucking weird, dude. Don't get it. But might be a dumb stupid kid thing, because there are definitely a lot of dumb stupid kid things.
Yeah.
And
I never really had any rooms like that when I was younger that like really I mean over at my grandma's house, like the basement I didn't like, but it's because she had a Raggedy Ann doll and that thing creeped me out.
I need to, next time I visit my mom, I need to take a picture of the doll she has right in her living room because it's creepy as shit.
I could do without seeing it.
Like it's not like the Annabelle doll creepy, like it's clearly a doll that's not meant to be creepy. It just is.
10 times creepier.
Yeah.
Just part of it, my man.
Story or similar story, and I can't. Oh yeah. So when I still would see my dad on the weekends, because my parents were divorced when I was young, the house he lived in had originally been a gas station that was like converted into like an apartment.
Right.
And
that's a weird like infrastructure thing.
It happens.
It's really weird. And I just remember the first time I like spent the night over there, like just again, it was really creepy. And I remember one of my brothers went to take a shower in there, and they came back freaking out because they said the pipes were bleeding. Not
Probably.
Like, I would assume now that it's probably very rusty pipes.
Yeah, it was
likely.
probably just like either rusty pipes or bad water in general. Like
But, me being like 9-10-year-old me and just hearing that, hey, the pipes are bleeding, like there's blood coming out of the pipes. It's weird.
Yeah.
You ever watch Monster House? It's kind of like that.
Monster House is so fucking good. That movie is obscenely good.
It's okay. I wish.
You're
I
talking
wish
about
that
the animated one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that it's just a shame that movie's so ugly. It's such an ugly fucking movie.
You're telling me the scene where Napoleon Dynamite plays a fat piece of shit character who plays an arcade machine and then gets a stomach cramp and eats like a cookie out of the little girl's hand isn't a good movie?
Yes.
It's a terrible movie. They spend like 90% of it setting up that, hey, this house is like alive and blah da 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 da, and then they spend like the last 10 minutes of the movie inside the house.
That movie was a shitty creepypasta before shitty creepypastas existed.
I will not tolerate Monster House slander on this podcast.
Well, you're gonna have to.
Too late.
I'm the host.
Okay, well, you're a little bitch.
The host? Whoa.
You're the host.
No, co-host. Unless we're
My show.
Unless we're doing this, because we can do this. We can do this right now.
I'm the one doing the recording and the editing.
Yeah, and I'm providing the personality.
Touche.
And I have to rein you two fucks in.
I'm the disappointed dad of the group.
Sometimes. It depends on who's... Most of the time. Sometimes Eric has to step in.
I'm
Sometimes
the
I'm
fucking...
just disappointed.
I'm the fucking glue, dog. What do you mean? Holding it down.
You're not the glue, you're the cum that keeps us together.
I sure am. I'm the sticky and the
You're
icky.
the sticky white stuff that we can't get rid of.
I'm the sticky and the icky.
Get rid of mine pretty easily. Oh, fuck, I should still play the game.
I am the stain that cannot be washed out. I am the Knight, I am Batman. We miss you, Kevin Conroy. Please tell me it's a bit, and he can be Batman again.
I don't ever remember when Batman, during that specific episode where he says it, like, I mean, he says it a lot, but I really like the one with Scarecrow. His, like, dad's like, you'll never amount to anything, Bruce, and, like, you know, he's like, I am vengeance, I am the Knight, I am Batman. Like, it's such a good moment. I don't remember when Batman, after that, jumps into Scarecrow's ship and screams, and beats the shit out of Scarecrow. I mean, I could have missed that part. I was too busy screaming at Kevin Conroy's awesome voice.
I'll say it, bro made it cool to be gay. It would not be cool to be gay if Kevin Conroy wasn't Batman. Fight me, all of you.
It's still not cool to be gay. What are you talking about?
I was trying to make the comment that was just a little too, like, just edgy enough, like, to not get cut out, but you went ahead and
well, you gotta remember, Andrew's part of the Klan.
That is true. He is part of the KKK, actually. But for real.
How did you miss the swastika tattoo, like, directly on my forehead?
I don't know, man. I'm one of those people that, like, looks at people's soul and doesn't look at their face. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I look at the stars and they tell me what kind of person somebody is. I don't look at faces.
So pray tell, what did the stars tell you about me?
That you're a KKK.
We'll have to cut it out if I say it. They'll have to cut it out if I say it, so I'm not gonna say it. Our editors work really, really hard and don't need me to say the real. It's not good. That's what you need to know in this circumstance. It's not good.
It's no good.
It's no good.
Remember when Sonic the Hedgehog fucked my mom?
Look, you should be honored.
Was your mom that's like that 12-year-old girl in Sonic 06 or whatever that was?
I'm sorry, what?
I don't know how old she was, but yeah, Sonic totally did fuck a fucking child.
Don't fuck kids.
Don't fuck kids, unless you're Sonic the Hedgehog.
Then it's funny.
Sonic does it, and then he like hears like a cop siren pull up. He's like, "I'm Chris Hansen. Gotta go fast."
Nah, just literally cut to the beginning of Sonic Adventure 2. No
Where they're all
in-flight
trying to arrest
movie.
him.
This flight sucks. I'm out of here.
Don't they try to arrest him at the start of 2?
Yeah, they like the beginning. Like you're in custody. Like I don't know how they arrested him, but they did technically.
I don't know how you catch Sonic. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, because like at the beginning of the games, you bust out of the military helicopter. He does got a pair of handcuffs on. Like he was in custody.
So like, imagine how much darker that game would be if Sonic broke out like the way that like you would typically break out of the situation. Like it's just Sonic the Hedgehog's like, gotta go fast. So you just see him like take the cuffs and like choke out the guard to death, like break his neck.
I mean, he does
like,
escape from prison, like actual prison in that game too.
But does he break a guard's neck and take the key to uncuff himself? No, he does not.
Off screen. Off screen.
I just don't understand how they like look at Shadow the Hedgehog and look at Sonic and be like, yeah, that's the same guy. That's Shadow. We gotta arrest him. And it's like, dude,
Racism. You act like we don't
fair,
have
remember
racist
that
cops
line
in
in-
real life.
What Dragon Ball iteration was it that had Goku Black?
Super, and it's a bad arc.
It really is, but it gave us that really good line.
Yeah, it's
Not
a bad
fire.
arc.
that
Hold
man
your
is
fire,
not
that
black.
man isn't black. They
Like,
had to know what they were doing.
yeah, like that arc had a chance of being good-ish, but like honestly, like evil Goku is such a fucking stupid ass pull that like in the movies was already done anyway.
Superman.
Well, like it was done in the movies a long fucking time ago, in a much better fashion, and like Goku Black's character is non-existent and was literally made for like a certain part of the fan base, and it's very clear. And I don't know, that arc sucks too because like Goku literally like goes to the future 3 times because he fucks up 3 times.
It's like
One
have
of
you ever
them
watched Red
being
versus-
yeah, one of the times being there's this move called the Evil Containment Wave where you seal somebody in an urn and you have a seal and he just forgets the seal because haha, remember how stupid Goku is in this new show? Like it's bad, and like I hate that Goku has been written stupid for years at this point.
Who do you think would win in a fight, Spike Spiegel or Goku?
Like no contest. Like Goku would. Like
You're right, no contest.
absolutely.
Spike clears.
Like somebody put it in perspective with me when it comes to Goku getting in a fight with like anyone. The problem with Goku getting in a fight with anyone is like they're just gonna bring him back with the Dragon Balls, like, and he's just gonna be stronger.
What is it with like Goku and Sonic having like the same plot?
No, they like so Dragon Ball and Sonic have similar similar story beats.
But did Goku ever turn into a werehog?
Yes. In my in this furry fan fiction I wrote.
That doesn't count.
It's called, instead of Dragon Ball, it's called Wolf Balls. It's a 7-part yaoi experience between Goku and Krillin.
At least it's not Yamcha.
Huh?
Yeah, Krillin's dope. Like, I like Krillin.
I only know like 3 characters. I know Goku. I know Krillin, who's the bald dude, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I know Vegeta, who's
And
Goku.
you're never
but, like,
gonna
with an
give the
angrier
show a
face.
chance because you let somebody tell you the show was bad and you just believe it because you're too lazy to make your own opinion.
No. I made my own opinion because I watched an episode of Dragon Ball. It was the one where he's about to fight. I watched 3 and I hated every single fucking second I watched because it was the Frieza arc, and so Frieza and Goku are about to fight, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be sick. This is gonna be dope. I picked a good time to start watching, huh? And then they talk for 30 minutes. I went, oh, well, that was a bust, but maybe next week it'll be fine. And so I load up Toonami, and Steve Blum's sweet and sultry voice welcomes me to Toonami, starting with Dragon Ball. And again, they talk for 30 fucking minutes. And then I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's a fighting anime, my guy. Like, a lot of the storytelling.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
the planet's gonna explode in 5 minutes, and I've watched an hour of
yeah,
this
and
bullshit.
that meme's been done to death.
Okay,
so if you've listened,
let me finish. And then,
Right.
and then I'm like,
never let her finish.
Always let her finish. Anyway,
never let her finish.
I'm humble, but anyway, I was like, all right, I'll give it a third chance because it's like, third time's a charm, right? And welcome to Toonami again. Steve Bloom, sweet and sultry voice. Love Steve Bloom, great voice actor, great host for Toonami. First up is Dragon Ball, and that comes on, and they talk for another 30 goddamn minutes and don't fight within 3 episodes. And I decided, you know what? I don't think I want to fucking watch this show. I'll just wait till 1 in the morning when Kill la Kill's on, because that anime is actually fucking good.
Agreed.
If you've ever sat down and watched the Dragon Ball abridged and you still hold an opinion that Dragon Ball is bad, you would like Dragon Ball, and that's not you specifically. It's just there's a lot of people. It's well, I like Dragon Ball Z abridged and it's so funny and it's so good. I'm like, yeah, and it is literally the story of Dragon Ball cut up into pieces with some additions and subtractions, but it is wholly a Dragon Ball experience, and you would like Dragon Ball if you liked abridged. It's just Dragon Ball Z's slow because it's older. That's some of it.
No, I have no problem with it. In the sense of I'm not gonna be oh, you like Dragon Ball? Fuck you. If you like it, you like it. I can't say shit because I like plenty of bad things. One of my favorite Silent Hill games is Silent Hill Downpour. The one that pretty much rehashes Silent Hill 2, but instead this time you're a prisoner and your son got murdered by some fat Mr. Toad looking dude.
I also like Downpour.
Huh?
I said I also like Downpour.
Yeah, I like Downpour. It's not a great game.
Homecoming
but
is the one I didn't like.
Homecoming's story-wise is fine, except for it's fine until they're oh, was it that your brother wasn't real, or was it that you killed your brother?
It was that you killed your brother. Spoilers, by the way, people, for a game that came out when I was in high school.
Yeah, I was gonna say for a fucking ancient Silent Hill game, but it's oh, we're doing the you killed the person again trope. At least in Downpour they plant the seed of doubt that as stupid as it is, it's maybe you killed your son and you facilitated it as this dude, but the canon ending, I believe, is that the guy did kill your son, so it makes the ending a lot more impactful because you kill the guy, and then there's a scene where the boogeyman, who's pretty much the Pyramid Head stand-in, you see your son again, and you're killing him didn't bring you back. It didn't make me happy. And it's that story's been done to death, but this was done all right. So I'll give it a pass. It's whatever. It's revenge is bad. No.
The thing I liked about Downpour was depending on your actions, whether you're a nice guy or you're a douchebag. One of the big story points. So when your guy goes to jail, I don't know what he gets thrown in jail for, but
He gets thrown in jail purposely so he can get closer to the guy who killed your son.
I know that, but I don't know if it's ever explained like how he got put in jail.
He probably did something like
he probably like held
felony
up a drugstore
enough
or something. But
I was saying he probably held up a drugstore and waited outside.
But like there was a corrupt cop in there that basically, hey, I'll let you get this closer to this guy so you can take care of him, but you owe me a favor. And what happens is that guy tricks one of the other cops who's like a goody two shoes into the shower stall with you, and he's like, okay, do what you did to this guy to this cop.
Yeah.
And depending on your actions in the actual gameplay, it can change to either you actually did carry out with it, or you realize, hey, wait, I'm not gonna kill this cop that has never done me wrong or anything.
In fact, that cop, like you see throughout the story, has like been nothing but nice to Murphy. Been like, I like.
And
I think he even tells you not to like trust the one guy who's gonna get you to kill him, because he's like, look,
he's bad news.
He's bad news, and you may think you want revenge, but trust me, you don't want revenge, man.
That's the cop that called off on.
But yeah,
after a short period of time following his son's death, Murphy stole a police cruiser and led the police on a 10-hour chase to the eastern seaboard.
Jesus Christ!
Bro watched a Ryan Gosling film and went, I drive.
But yeah, so if you're like an asshole, then yeah, you took the guy up on his offer. You killed the one cop. You didn't kill him. You injured him to the point where he's a vegetable.
You didn't even do it. I think the guy stabbed him for you. Like the guy stabs him for you, and like he's a vegetable.
Yeah, if you're good, then it's the other cop that was responsible for turning him into a vegetable, and the female cop that's chasing you throughout the game, regardless, thinks you're responsible for it, and
until the reveal,
the very end, where it's like, wait a minute, it was this guy that was actually responsible for it, and there's like 6 different endings, and it's all.
Which, like every Silent Hill game, there's like always 6 different endings.
Yeah. This one, like, the endings were kind of lacking because it's literally just, hey, did you do it? Did you not do it? And did you kill the girl at the end? Yes or no?
Yeah, it's like, oh, do you help the girl or do you not help the girl? And like, even if you do it, like everything happens like the same way. Like it's like, oh, I'll give you a hand, and she still falls, and you don't see her until like the other thing. And then there's a guy at like the trolley, and like he's on the edge, and like he's like, I'm gonna kill myself, and you have the option to be like, look, man, that's not the way, or literally, yeah, fucking do it. Exactly. Like it's like it's like there's not really like, oh, where's the like, is there a morally gray area for this choice? Like, you know, it's like, no, there's no moral gray area to be like, hey, you should kill yourself like now versus, hey, don't kill yourself. That'd be bad.
Yeah, killing yourself.
There's another really dumb choice. Like, there's another choice that's like really, really dumb that doesn't add up. Like, fuck, what is the choice? I know it's something like, kill this guy or do you not kill this guy? And it's like, probably don't kill him. That'd be bad. Murder's pretty bad.
I will say this: one of the best things that came out of Homecoming and Downpour is the I think they call it Silent Hill Homepour, where speedrunners will play both games
at like the same time, or like back to back.
No, at the same time, because you cannot skip the cutscenes in Downpour. So while cutscenes are playing in Downpour, they'll switch to Homecoming and play Homecoming.
Really funny.
Yeah. fucking stupid, but funny as hell.
Homecoming.
Can't think of like any other really bad Silent Hill games. Like there's that one that's like an arcade shooter that's a Japanese exclusive, and that's not really fair to call it bad because it's like what
It's a
story are you gonna
tie-in game.
tell?
It's not a mainline
Yeah.
experience.
I've heard the one that's on the handheld. I think it's just called Origins. I remember
Origins. It's
hearing
not
that's
on the
really
handheld.
bad.
It's just terrible because like it retcons a lot of shit about like Silent Hill. Like it's
Wasn't it on the PSP or the Vita?
it probably was, but I know it for a fact that like it's also on console. You play as a guy named like Travis Pickle or something. It's like a really dumb last name. I swear to God, his name's like a fruit.
I'm going
And
to look it up.
yeah, I was
Travis
in the middle of
Pickle.
looking up. But you play as whoever the fuck Travis something. It might be Bickle, but Travis Bickle is a character in something else, right?
I mean, like one of my favorite troll names that I've used in a video game is Harry Hot Pickle. So I get it.
Who the fuck is Travis Bickle? Before I continue this
Your
rant
mom.
about. Oh, Travis Bickle's the dude from Taxi Driver.
Grady.
Travis Grady. Okay. Why did I think it was something?
Because you're a loser.
Yeah. Anyway, and like you're a semi truck driver, and you see a house on fire, and so you just like run inside, and you pull out this girl, and it's Alessa, and it's like that's not at all what happened to Alessa though. Like her house didn't catch fire. She was specifically burned during a ritual to expel the demon from her, try to give birth to God or whatever the cult were trying to do in that game. And so it retcons like the fuck out of everything. Game.
Unfortunately, I just don't think that, like, there was a hope for a little bit that Silent Hills might have been a good game, but I honestly don't think that like specifically in Konami that there are people staffed to make a decent Silent Hill game that's a new experience that adds to, like, that isn't just Silent Hill 2 remake. Like, I don't think Konami's got that dog in them to make a good new Silent Hill, and they have for well over a decade.
And not to shit on Kojima, but I don't think handing him the reins of Silent Hill was going to be a good idea.
It wasn't gonna fix it. It wasn't gonna fix it because, like,
Death Stranding was fine.
Was it?
That's it. It was just fine.
It's an experience that's catered to certain personalities. Like, it's not
that's fair.
Like,
it's not a
I don't
catch.
regret playing it, but I would never replay it.
Yeah, like, if you're a fan of it, you're a fan of it, and it's made for you. But like, it's definitely not made for a lot of people. It's a very niche game, like, which isn't bad.
Yeah, I think part of the problem with Death Stranding is it wasn't focused enough on one of the stories, because it had interesting enough plots to like make like three or four different stories, and they just don't follow through on really any of them. Because like the story between Sam, I think is the main character, and the bridge baby,
Norman Reedus.
Yeah, Norman Reedus and the bridge baby, that alone could have made a game. The relationship between the bridge baby and its biological father, who is like a Vietnam ghost coming back to haunt you or whatever.
Is that the Troy Baker character, the very evil guy?
No, that's Higgs.
I also have not played that game yet, and I do eventually want to play that game. So try not to give me too many spoilers.
Everything I'm saying is in the trailer, so
yeah.
All I know about Death Stranding is when my buddy got into it, his exact words to me before I told him to go fuck himself, where he was like, "Yeah, man, it's so good, it's so good. It's a shame you don't have a PlayStation because like I'm 45 hours in and it just started getting good." And I went, "You're telling me you played 45 hours and went
that?"
Yeah, you're like let me get this straight. You're telling me that you played for 45 hours and it wasn't fun." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, and now it's only starting to get good. Yeah, I'm like, why didn't you stop at like hour 3? He's like, well, because I read online it doesn't get good till like 30 hours in, and I legitimately told him to go fuck himself. I'm
I
not
have
gonna
an
do that.
issue.
Unless it's
Yeah.
an MMO that I'm playing with friends and we make our own fun, I'm not playing a game for 30 hours for it to get fun.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that sentiment really needs to die. Like, it's one of the most like pretentious things that you could do as a writer. Well, let's just intentionally make the story shit until they like have earned the right to get to the good stuff. Like,
Yeah, like,
it's some of the most
exactly.
pretentious shit.
one of the games I played recently, you've heard me bitching about it constantly because I
Yeah.
played it. Yeah, it was Star Ocean 4, I think.
But like again, how pretentious do you have to be? And I'm sorry, I just need to finish the thought.
Yeah,
How
that's fine.
pretentious do you have to be to just intentionally be like, yeah, we're just gonna make the game not good because you know they already bought it, so like they'll definitely play it because it's our game. They'll play it when it gets till it gets good. Like it's really pretentious as fuck.
But yeah, like I played this game Star Ocean when it came out in 2008 or 9 and bought it for $60, played it for a while. I played probably about 20 hours. I apparently got about 3/4 of the way through the story and there was a stupid plot point and I stopped playing. And I was recently able to get it for free through my PlayStation Plus subscription thing. So I'm like, it's free. I will try to stomach my way through it. And I get to that same part and I'm like, okay, I didn't realize it was this far into the game. And then I'm looking at like forums about the game just because I'm not having fun. I must be missing something, right? Because people say it's the next one that's the really bad one. And people keep saying that, yeah, the game doesn't get good until after this plot point happens. And that's exactly where I gave up the last time. So it's like, okay, it's still 25 hours in.
Yeah.
And it only, for me personally at the very least, it just tanked. Like, the story just got stupid.
Yeah, and that sucks. Also, to be a dickhead, that was not a free game. You subscribe to PlayStation Plus. It is not a free game. Air quotes. It is free.
It is air quotes free, yes. I realize I'm paying for a subscription service.
I mean, granted, like, the amount of games you can play with a subscription service, like, outweighs how much it would cost to buy all of those games individually.
It does, but it doesn't make it free.
Right.
It absolutely does not make it free.
Like, okay, so speaking of subscription services, this is an argument that me and my roommate had because the subscription service for PlayStation recently increased its prices.
Yeah. I remember when PlayStation was free.
Yeah, I do
play
too.
online.
Back on the PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
It sucks. It sucks. But, and I'm not trying to be a shill to PlayStation, but yeah, I'm paying for subscription. I'm paying for subscription. I'm paying for Shut up. I'm paying for a subscription service, yes. The amount of games I've played through that subscription service outweigh the amount I would have paid for those games to begin with.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
like in my eyes,
I have the Xbox subscription, so like I entirely get it.
So like for me at least, having that subscription service outweighs the cost. Like it's worth it for me because I actually download games off of it and play them for in quotes free. My roommate on the other hand, like she got pissed when they increased prices and she's like, well, it's not gonna be worth it if they don't put the entire PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4 library on there and make them compatible to work on the PlayStation 5. It's like,
I wish they would. Like, don't get me wrong.
It's
I
very
really wish they
implausible
would.
for them to do all that. It'd be cool if they did. But like my other thing is like she doesn't use the subscription service for what it's like intended to be. Like she needs to just go back to the basic one because all she uses the PlayStation for is to go online. She
Yeah,
she
like,
she is
eh,
absolutely adamant about, hey, if I want a game, I have to have it physical,
yeah.
which is
Um,
fine. Like I like
It
my
depends
physical
on the
media
game
as
for
much
me.
as anybody else, but like when a game costs $70 and you don't know if you're going to enjoy it or not,
it's okay to get that shit for air quotes free.
yeah, it's okay to get the cheaper option.
The only
Like,
problem is like when it's like a game that's not on one of those things.
man, like that's kind of why I miss like fucking movie rentals. Like we had a movie rental store in my town until like 2 or 3 years ago, and the whole like try before you buy like is more important than like renting movies ever was. Despite like I do miss the ritual of like renting movies every week. Like that was I miss that, but like
Yeah,
that's its own conversation.
like
But
yeah,
like
like
with video games specifically, like it was so cool to be able to try before you buy because that's typically like what would happen. It's like, oh, there's a game that I think I might like. Let me try this out. And either what happens is the game is not good and you don't buy it. The game is like decent, but you still wouldn't buy it, so you rent it like 7 times and beat it. Or it's so good that you rent it once and then you go out and you buy it.
yeah, like I wish more games would release demos, just in general,
Yeah,
and not
yeah,
just
like
like,
demos need
hey,
to make a comeback.
like, and I'm not talking about demos like, hey, this is like a 40-hour game. Let's give you like 10 minutes of the whole thing. Let's give you a little bit of the story and like one piece of combat. It's like,
Yeah,
give me
that's
more
not
than that
it.
so I can kind of get the feel for the game because you do like the basic tutorial in like an RPG. That's not the RPG. That is not the game. Um, I really liked the original Dead Space's demo because it was literally just is this big arena with most, if not all, of the weapons, and as soon as you picked one of the weapons up, it started spawning enemies, and it just let you get a general feel for the combat.
I remember
That's
the
actually a really cool
Snake
demo.
Eater demo like literally starts like at the very beginning of the game where you've like landed, and that was like a pretty bad spot to have a demo
Yeah,
for
because
that game.
there's not really a lot of
It's post
action.
cutscene. You don't see any of the cutscenes. It's just the you got to retrieve your backpack and stuff. Like
They should have included
it's
a little
bad
bit of the
part.
cutscene for context.
They should have
Uh,
just included the part where the
again,
snake jumps out.
like I was also very young, so like I could totally be misremembering, and the cutscene might have been included, but it was on a demo disc, so I don't think so, and that might be why. Is because there were a lot
I
of
forgot
demos
about
on
demo
that
discs.
disc. The demo discs were dope.
You remember when like games used to have demos for like I think Crash Bandicoot 2 or 3 had like the Spyro 2 or 3 demo
Yeah.
on it, and the Spyro 2 or 3 had the other, like they had the vice versa of each other.
Um, Eric, wasn't there a game that you're like obsessed with that had it got super
Yes.
popular because the Final
Yes.
Fantasy VIII demo was on it?
Yes, there's a PS1 game called Brave Fencer Musashi,
That's it.
made by SquareSoft before it was Square Inc.'s, and it was made after Final Fantasy VII, but before Final Fantasy VIII. And the only reason why it sold was it had the demo for Final Fantasy VIII on it, and I don't know if you know this, gamers, because some of you might be young, but like Final Fantasy VII, for a lot of people, wrongfully so, was the second coming of Christ in gaming.
So Final
Um,
Fantasy VII, for you little kids that don't understand, was like Fortnite for back then.
that's kind of, I guess, like there are merits to it, but it definitely doesn't deserve to be
Crazy
the
popular,
absolute.
but like not necessarily the best game out there. Like Final Fantasy VII was a solid game.
Yeah.
but I think a lot of it was, oh hey, this is a Final Fantasy game and it's in full 3D. Ooh.
You get to see titties though. That's my merit for if a game's good or not.
But anyway,
So is
back
this
to
game that you're playing
Brave
good?
It was a phenomenal game, honestly. Like Eridorf did an insane job. All the animation's great. You die in one hit, which I don't mind because I'm a fucking masochist and I played Hotline Miami.
It depends on the context of the game. Some
This
games
game,
aren't
you're
worth
fighting
it.
demons.
Well, no, I mean like, for instance, like my go-to example will be when it comes to zombies, Call of Duty Zombies. You die in 2 hits, as opposed to why the fuck would I play that when I could play Killing Floor 2, which is a
Floor 2
much
is
much
so
better
good.
game. Much better game. Anyway, back to Brave Fencer Musashi, because a lot of people don't know what that is. It's a really good game that was advanced for its time. Has a full 24-hour day-night cycle that you have to sleep and you get tired. It's got a lot of bosses. It's cool lore, and it's the main character is based off of Miyamoto Musashi. One of the rivals that you have is based off of Gojira, which in like real life there's a legend about Miyamoto Musashi like going to a duel against Gojira, forgetting his actual dueling sword and also being late to piss off Gojira, and he ends up carving a wooden sword out of a branch with like his small Tonto knife, and he beats him to death with an oar. Miyamoto Musashi's a fucking dope person. Well, was a dope person in real life, but the game's really cool. Heavily recommend it if you've never heard of it and you do like Final Fantasy. It is better than Final Fantasy VII in my opinion because the combat's real time and the level ups are similar and move sets and like the story's cool and like it's got a really fantastic shitty dub where people are talking in Old English and like Hill Valley and redneck and despite all of that the story is really good and I do eventually want to play it in subbed because in the subbed version, all of the town and all of the people were named after liquors of some kind, as opposed to in the dub they had to censor it. And the Good Kingdom, everybody is named after like a food, and the Bad Kingdom, everybody is named after a drink. It's a really cool fucking game that did a lot for 1998. Like, I can't praise that game enough, especially because nobody knows what that fucking game is. I've shown you, like, maybe a third of that game before, Andrew.
I remember
want to
watching
say.
it one of the times you were over here, and I think I fell asleep during the playthrough.
Yeah, it's a long game, and, like,
it's an RPG.
It's not something
you just sit down and watch for a couple of hours and get the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a long RPG, and it's got a really cool world setup, and I dig the aesthetic of that game a whole lot, and it's kind of like I've got opinions of like it sucks that game like did get a like very discombobulated sequel that is not a direct sequel at all. And that game got abandoned. Kind of like how, like, again, Paper Mario, like, the first Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door are good games, but in my personal opinion, Paper Mario was not worth the sacrifice that would have been Mario RPG 2. Mario RPG 2 would have been way better than any Paper Mario game. Sorry. Is what it is. And I feel the same way about Brave Fencer Musashi. Like, Brave Fencer Musashi would have been better than any Final Fantasy continuation had they, like, put some resources into it.
I just wish Squeenix would do anything with any of their properties to the point that they do with their Final Fantasy property.
A fraction of a point with Final Fantasy. Like, a fraction of it. Like, it's
Yeah, because they
It
have
really
other
sucks.
properties that are fantastic, or would be if they gave a shit about them.
Yeah, like for
I
me,
can't think of any other Square Enix games, honestly, other than Final Fantasy and Life is Strange.
Square Enix is now like mostly a publisher, and they have a catch-all like the reboot Tomb Raider games that everyone likes. Those started off as Square Enix. The reboot
the first
Hitman
two-
games that everyone likes started off as Square Enix.
The
Deus
first
Ex,
two-
Square Enix. The list goes on. But
I only liked the first two Lara Croft games.
I know I liked the first one, but like again, this is with a grain of salt because I don't know if I've actually completed all of them. I don't remember because they're all kind of a blur.
Never completed the third one because I didn't like it. Like you get to the jungle segment and I was like, it's kind of.
They're all kind of a blur, and like for me, I just got impatient on waiting for. Like I got tired of Laura going through the same arc. Where she's just like unaware and she has to go through a traumatic experience and come out stronger. Like they did that twice, like straight up they did that twice. And I was just really, really impatient for her, like becoming the badass that you see in the first Tomb Raider, where she's just sitting at a bar filled with dudes and like her fucking cock's hanging out and she's got her glasses and the fucking yeah, I've got big titties and check out my tank top and my short shorts and my fucking I don't remember what she fucking uses and you know like her aesthetic like was super cool and super badass and like that like while I think that the model that they used for like the reboot games is cute and like she's objectively like better looking but like you know that personality like she never got there and like that's a real shame because OG Lara Croft is one of the coolest like character concepts out there.
Yeah. I own both of the Angelina Jolie movies, and I still haven't watched them yet. I have them both on Steelbook.
For the time they work, but again, video game movie-itis, like it be what it be. Don't expect it to be good, and don't criticize it for being bad. Like that's my take on video game movies and like live action anime. Don't expect it to be good, but also don't be mad that it's bad.
I mean, like I said, I really, really enjoyed the Super Mario Bros. Movie that Illumination did, which I mean, yeah, it's a kids film, but like it's fucking Mario. It's a kids game.
But it's not live action. It's animated. Like yeah,
that's the key. Live action exclusively. Okay.
Live action.
I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog was good.
Mostly exclusively. Mostly.
Sonic the Hedgehog was good.
I never said that there weren't exceptions. I never said there weren't exceptions.
The first Mila Jovovich Resident Evil movie, while not faithful, like that movie came out 2002, I want to say, so 3 years before Resident Evil 4, and it was pretty influential. It was pretty influential. Thank you, because they
with
put
a grain
the
of
laser
salt,
hallway
the movie's
from that
fine.
movie. Yeah, it's fine. I like Welcome to Raccoon City as well. That one was good. It wasn't good, but I liked it.
Yeah, with a grain of salt, those movies are fine. Like again,
the CGI
like, they
ones
take,
are really good though.
They take liberty with a lot of things in those movies, but with a grain of salt, they're not terrible.
Yeah,
they're fine.
There's things I absolutely despise about those movies, but like, if you just want a dumb watch, they're great.
Yeah, they're totally fine.
But if you're expecting like the same experience you get from the Resident Evil games,
definitely not.
No.
Well, maybe like some of the maybe RE6.
But you know, like there's also the argument of like how many of those shitty movies like got people's imagination sparked and got them interested and like put them on the path to start playing the games and realizing that like wow, this is based off of like a really rich IP that has like a lot going for it that's even better than this movie that I thought was good. You know, like there's a lot to be said about that.
Chris and what's his name gunfight in what is that? Damnation.
Vendetta. Vendetta's a Vendetta might be the worst of all the CGI movies, but it's still my favorite because of how Leon
Stupid it
kills
is.
a family of 4 on the highway. He fucking kills one of the zombie dogs.
And we've come
Pulls
full
a pin on
circle.
Oh yeah, hey yeah, Leon. Well, he wasn't drinking and driving though. He was just out.
He just
for
killed a
blood.
family of 4.
He pulls the pin on the grenade with his teeth, which wouldn't happen, but it's also Leon Kennedy. He could probably do it with his cock. Pops the ding part off the grenade, whatever that fucking shit's called, and
The safety
throws
latch
grenade behind.
handle.
Yeah, whichever. Throws the grenade back, and you see a family. You don't see the family in the car, but you see a family car. Like, you know, it's a SUV. Like, you know that. Like, oh, you guys ready for Disney? You're dead. Leon killed them. And his entire arc in that movie, canonically, Leon overcame his depression and alcoholism in that movie because, like, you know how he's always been like, oh, it has to be different this time. Ever since I lost Ada, ever since I lost this person, you know, it's so hard for me to exist as a person. And then, like, in that movie, Rebecca and Chris are like, quit being a piece of shit. And he's like, huh, I never thought about it that way. Of course, Chris. And so now he's happy.
Stupid. Leon's a stupid himbo, and it's fine. And it's fine.
Leon, you gotta fuck my sister. I don't want to fuck Claire. I want to fuck you, Chris.
All right, too gay in my ear. Drawing the line.
Incoherent rage.
Yeah, like I'm sorry. Like there's nothing wrong with being gay, but that was too much in my ear. Ugh. Yucky.
Lucky I didn't go for like the meat sucking noise.
No, it's just like it's fine. Like I like nasty noises
because I almost choked to death.
Like I like funny nasty noises.
No, I forget what you were talking about, but
I like funny nasty noises, but like it's all weighed down by 2 dudes, and I'm not into that.
Let's go to Disneyland and getting cut off. That.
Let's go to Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Go to Disneyland.
He kills like 2 families of 4 in that though, because like he drops a sign on the other one. Like, no family is safe from Leon. Leon was driving on that motorcycle. Have you ever played Watch Dogs?
Yeah, I've played it.
You know the opening scene where like the motorcycles pull up on Aiden Pierce's car and flip the bitch?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Leon just chose to do that. He saw like a kid on her tablet playing like Minecraft Pocket Edition and went, I can't let that slide, and killed that family.
That game's for pedophiles.
Oh, you mean like Roblox?
Oh, fuck off.
You mean like Roblox?
I'm playing a priest in this game. That doesn't help, does it?
Nah, did you guys see, like, there was a TikToker that, like, hung themselves because, like, they had an editor that turned out to be underage, and they, like, thought it would be funny to accuse the dude of being a pedophile, and like people just automatically believed it, and it ruined his life. So like he went live on TikTok and just fucking hanged himself. Andrew?
No, I'm still here.
Andrew. We're gonna cover Andrew Molasses and feed him to bees for what he was gonna say.
So since Andrew's not gonna say the fucked up thing, at work I was having a conversation with a friend, and we were talking about like about dicks as you do.
Yeah, of course. As straight men do.
You always talk about dicks. Like dicks become funnier as you get older. Like I can't wait to be 90 and like die laughing at a dick joke because it's just that funny.
just in the hospital bed. In the hospital bed. Billy, tell me a joke. Hey, Grandpa, have you heard of D's? Ooh, he's nuts.
or your nurse is named Candace.
Hey,
so,
I'm
since you were
nurse.
talking about dicks with your coworker, This reminds me of a conversation I had today. So,
this
Man,
coworker was
can we
me.
wait? Can we? Oh, well, how long is it? Not the dicks,
About 6
but your
inches.
thing.
I was gonna say about 3, but yeah, not that long.
Okay.
One of my coworkers recently sold his house, and they got mail that was supposed to go to the person who bought the house, and it was a package from Hims. It was a package of dick
Yeah.
pills.
Yeah. Someone's getting some fuck. Unironically, if I got sent like Viagra or whatever, like
I'd take the whole bottle.
I'd take it just to see,
Just to
just
see if
to
it works.
find out. But
No,
anyway, we were talking about dicks. And
Dicks! I'm talking about dicks.
we ended up having a conversation about dicks getting bigger, and I was like, whoa, like Keanu Reeves, whoa. If you had the ability to have a superpower, but the only superpower that you could have was when you tell a lie, somebody that you hate's dick grows bigger. Because we made the Pinocchio joke, and I was like, well, what
if
if
I
you
hate
could do
myself?
that with somebody that you hate? Would you take that superpower? And he'd be like, fuck yeah, because then, like, we could just, like, tell, like, 82 lies, and their dick would be so big that they couldn't walk anymore. And,
Well,
they would
the fucked up
eventually
thing about
starve
that
to
is-
death.
Well,
Right?
Not even
here's
that,
my
but-
take on it. What if you hate yourself?
Yeah.
That's not valid. We're talking about an actual person. That's not you.
Okay.
That's not the
Oh, I
superpower.
thought you were just gonna end it
Anyway.
there. Just we're talking about an
Anyway.
actual person.
Anyway, so I was thinking about it, and this has like a very long like
Long.
list of stipulations, right? So I was like, man, I don't know if I would take that superpower. And he's like, well, why not? Because like what would happen is somebody would just like eventually they would just get penis reductions, right? And if someone was doing that to me, so I made this about myself, like, that's part of it. So I was like, if my dick was getting bigger, I would just like, because you can get a penis reduction. I just get a penis reduction, and I would get so many of those that they would eventually just like, I would like whisper in every nurse's ear until like people just started calling me the dick giver. And he's like, well, eventually you'll go broke. And I'm like, well, no, listen, man, because if you did this to me, what would happen is I would make the best financial decision of my life and be the most successful businessman ever, because every successful businessman ever just starts a cult. Like, that's just part of it, right? You start a cult.
What does cult be?
So
Like, I can grow my dick. That's why God
Yeah,
is real, or
so-
whatever. Like,
yeah, so like you just start a cult, and you could prove that you like you have like some ordained power, because you could just like randomly your dick gets bigger, and like that's not something that people can just fucking disprove, right? So you start a cult, and you have people giving you money, and and you give yourself a cool title, and my cool title would probably be Father Dick Giver. You're welcome.
like here's like, okay, you're talking about dick reduction. What I was thinking of, if you tell like a bunch of lies, right? Like, there is such a thing that like, because when you get an erection, you the blood rushes to your penis.
Yeah, and we
that's
talked
like-
about that too, about like, because he used to be EMS, and he's like, yeah, like, because then like, dude would try to get a boner, and he'd go into anaphylactic shock and die.
That's what I'm saying. Is like like that, or like all the blood rushing from his head to his dick. Like he'd have such a big dick that when he
He'd
he
go into
gets
shock and
hard.
die.
No, I'm not even thinking like shock. I'm thinking
Pass
even
out.
funnier that like, I'm not thinking passes out. I'm thinking he goes brain dead for every time he's hard. So he's just like, his girlfriend or whoever at the time is like, so you want to do it? And he's like, yeah. And like, she like, whatever to get him hard. And he's just like, I'm so written. His dick gets hard.
Yeah,
For the rest
basically.
of sex.
But yeah,
That's
you
just
may now
men
call
in
me.
general.
Yeah, it is. You can just now call me Father Dick Giver, because that's a
Are you-
legit name.
No, you should do the Linkara thing. You should be the, I am the dick bringer.
Linkar is a loser. I don't know anything about Linkara, but every impression I've heard
a
of
loser.
him makes me think that dude's a fucking loser.
I know he has his like whole Lightbringer thing. I don't know exactly what that is.
But listen,
Lightbringer
you
sounds
join
like
a
it's something
cult.
from World of Warcraft.
You join a cult, and the leader like tells you that you were to call him Father Dick Giver, and you are his cumlings.
That's funny.
I told him that's
I'd
exactly
join that
like
cult.
if. Yeah, I told him straight up, like, if you did that and I was the person that happened to, I would start a cult. My title would be Father Dick Giver, and I would call my followers my cumlings. That's just what it is. Because we've always got to talk about cum.
I've thought about starting a cult.
You totally should, bro. It'd be
I just
pretty
don't have enough fruit
based.
punch.
It'd be based.
It's just Flavor Aid.
Flavor Aid.
I don't have AIDS.
Yet.
Hey Eric, can I borrow some of your AIDS?
No, I'm saving those for insert
Linkara.
insert whatever name you want to put. Don't care. Be what it be. For this next bit, I think I want to just make some fucking mac and cheese, dog. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
What kind of mac and cheese? What's your like preferred mac and cheese substitutes?
OG fucking mac and cheese. Kraft, my G. Actually, I don't think I can make mac and cheese. I don't think I bought butter.
You need butter for mac and cheese?
You should use butter.
Never made mac and cheese.
Required, but definitely recommended.
Well, if I'm gonna make mac and cheese, I'm gonna make it with butter.
Yeah, you're gonna make it the right way.
That's the way. So instead, do I want spaghetti or do I want hamburger helper? It's super late to make either one of those.
What do you care?
Because I want to have stuff tomorrow too, but also like, if I didn't like fall asleep randomly today, then it would have been really dope to make either one of those.
God damn it, Danny. Why did you have to take over?
Danny?
We shot Danny yet.
Who's Danny?
The mute.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that guy. Totally real person.
Definitely a real person. And it's not the fact that I'm trying to figure out a puzzle right now.
Totally real person. I brought up food and then, like, my fucking...
Just, like, hungry.
No, I brought up food and then you two just like, oh, he's gonna make food. I want food.
I kind of do want food. All I had when I got home was a bowl of soup.
Bowl of soup.
I had a Subway sandwich.
I mean, I had planned on making food last night, but like, I stayed over at work talking to this loser.
Hey. Thank you.
They kiss, viewers. They fuck on the couch regularly. That bit, all of us fucking. I was actually joking about it. It's just those two. I'm the straight one in the group.
That's definitely not true.
Which one of us is the gay one, viewer? You decide.
I mean, if we ever have a panel at a con, I'm pretty sure they'll know from the get-go which one of us is the gay one.
Why? Because I wear Germa shirts?
Because you'll walk on stage and you'll just be sucking somebody's dick.
Is it because I wear white?
I'm literally dating a woman. Who are you guys dating?
Your mom. What do you mean?
All right, Andrew, your turn.
Anybody who would want to.
Hey, viewers.
Andrew's dating loneliness.
Andrew's gonna be dating his fucking shotgun tonight.
You right.
Are you going to get an itchy, twitchy, scarred penis?
What?
Man, nobody, you don't get it, man. Do you get it, Kate?
You're gonna stick your shotgun. You're gonna stick your penis down your shotgun and.
You're gonna get an
I know what
itchy,
you
twitchy,
said, but my
scarred
brain
penis.
parsed it backwards.
So, like, the Bobby Bass talk about fucking shotguns.
I need to go back and rewatch those episodes. They were great.
Fun fact, Mike did make like sub playlists of the New Vegas playthrough where like he has like that mod author and the mod author that does the really funny voice because he's a bad voice actor, but now he's embraced it. That did
Dino
like the
Jackson?
Dino Rex, yeah, like those mod like the mods that mod creator made and the mods that the New Vegas bounties made like have their own separate playlists now, so you can just it's so much easier to find the bounties episodes now because of that. So if you want to watch Bobby Bass, you can totally do that.
Bobby Bass was voiced by the same guy that did the other bounties, right?
I'm not sure, but I don't know because they did a lot of work with that.
Yeah.
And you know, like paying attention. Who wants to do that?
That's why I flunked out of high school.
Me.
I didn't flunk out of high school. I have a diploma. Haha.
I didn't flunk out of high school either. I was making a bit.
I was reading a post where a woman had graduated high school, went to college, and earned her bachelor degrees, and like 9 years later, her high school was like, yeah, actually, you got bad grades and we rescinded your diploma. And she's just like, what do? I have a bachelor's degree.
And what do you
Also,
do in that
if-
situation?
Also, if you're rescinding a diploma 9 years after the fact, like, you're a piece of shit. Like, period.
Very true.
Yeah, at that point, like, they earned it. Like, you might as well let them keep it.
Like, even if they would rescind the high school diploma, like, they got their bachelor's degree, I think that would override it.
Yeah, but, like, wouldn't it be like, oh, well, you don't have your high school diploma, so, like, we have to rescind this one as well.
Well, nah, so, like, how it would work, at least in my head, is, like, so, like, you have to show proofs of identity when you apply for a new job, but, like, and diploma is one of them. You just show them your bachelor's degree, like, diploma, like, right? Like, you just show them your college diploma.
Just have him Billy Madison that shit. Just have him go back to their last year of high school.
Well, right, and like that's the thing too is like because of how long it's been, like I'd be pissed off too. I'm like, you're telling me that like you're rescinding my diploma and now like I have to get a GED instead, and like because of how our system works, people with GEDs are just looked down on. Nah, fuck you, diploma.
Yeah, it's the same diploma. It's over the same shit. I don't fucking care if you have your high school diploma and dealt with the bullshit
But
social
did she get
structure
her,
that is a high school, or you dropped out and came back like 5 years later and just got your GED. It's the same fucking thing. You just weren't
Especially, like, some people drop out because they get bullied and stuff, and it's like, you know, I don't see how, like, you know, oh, well, yeah, I got my GED because, like, when I went to high school, it was go to high school and get bullied or kill myself.
Well, there's lots of
both?
reasons to drop out. There's lots of reasons to drop out.
Yeah, plenty.
But like ultimately, man, like it's it's one of those cases of same dish, different restaurant.
Yeah.
It's still chicken Alfredo. It doesn't matter where you get from. Yeah, it's still chicken tendies, like, no matter where you are getting it from.
I mean,
But also,
like,
some
the thing
teachers
is,
are just shit at teaching.
that's true. My
there's
ninth
no
grade
vetting.
math teacher was really shit at teaching. I mean, I'm not good at math as is, but like, he did not help any.
Like, the way my high school worked is in order to graduate a grade, you had to pass 2 of the 3 of your third and fourth quarter and your final exam. The first half of the school year didn't fucking matter. You could get zeros for that whole first half of the school year.
That's stupid.
And come back and barely pass your third and fourth quarter and fail your final exam and still pass.
That's stupid.
I failed my Algebra 2 class because the third and fourth quarter were taught by a student teacher who refused to elaborate on anything. They wrote the formula on the board, they drew a couple math problems using the formula, did not explain a goddamn thing, and expected us to learn it that way. And the final exam was 100% what the student teacher taught. That entire class failed.
I don't condone school shootings, but
Is it a school shooting if you only shoot one particular person?
Yes, because in Ohio there was a guy who like went into school and blew a guy away, and only that guy, and then like got arrested, and like they had an interview with him like recently because he got out or whatever. He's like, you know, if I could go back and do anything differently, I wouldn't.
Damn.
I think
so
that
does
guy
it
belongs
count?
in a psych ward now. I don't think you should be roaming free.
Does it count as a school shooting if you bring a gun to school and you just blow your brains out? Like,
Yes.
it's suicide.
Yes, it does.
So I guess
There was a guy who shot himself in a school parking lot, and that was classified as a school shooting because it was on school grounds. If
to
a
be
gun,
fair, there was where he ran up on the sidewalk, got out of his car, and attacked people with a machete, and it was classified as a school shooting.
My name is Walter Hartwell White. I live at 1273 Rockefeller Street. California.
But yeah, like
California,
and it was classified as a school shooting. And the reasoning it was classified as a school shooting is because that school did not have a code for just violent act.
Petty attack?
Like, it didn't have just a general, hey, there is a violent attack, there is a threat of violence. It was just, they had like bomb threat, school shooting, or some sort of natural disaster. The closest one to that was a school shooting. So, obviously, when they got the reports of that, the news media, who reacted faster than the police, started reporting there's a school shooting in progress at this place.
I wish they'd stop doing that.
Because
there's so many kids that have died because of like the media doing that. Whether it's because like someone who potentially like would have never been a school shooter, but like it getting covered by the press was the thing that tipped them into I'm gonna shoot up a school, like wants attention, or just straight up like live streaming it and like saying people are calling from such and such room, and then you hear 7 gunshots because guess what? A lot of school shooters definitely like hearing their own press. And when you tell them where people are at and they can just go to that room, like, yeah, it sucked.
Those reporters that do that should be held...
Yeah.
They should be held responsible for it. Like, obviously they didn't pull the trigger. Like, but they should have to pay some sort of reparation to that family because they are the reason. They're one of the biggest reasons their kids just died.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
I'm gonna take a hard stance on. I think school shootings are bad and shouldn't happen.
They're bad and shouldn't happen, but like there's a lot of cogs in that wheel. You know, like a lot of it barring on mental health and
Yeah.
and you know like specifically keeping firearms out of minors' hands. Yes, I know a lot of people who do it are technically 18, but like it's a very complicated subject, and
You
I
can't
really
legally own a gun that's you can't own a handgun at the very least until you're 21.
yeah, like there's you know, you can still buy like a rifle or a shotgun, and you could definitely saw the barrel off and all of that. And I
Yeah.
don't want to really talk about this anymore,
Yeah, me either.
because you know, like, not that we're getting paid to do this or anything, but I would really like to not talk about this anymore because this will definitely get our video restricted like immediately, probably. Like, this video's in the ether most likely, because I'm pretty sure like those two words put together like immediately is not good and like flagged. But we could say "come" all we want.
Oh yeah, I love cum.
Gay.
Well, yes, Andrew. One of us is. Which
Namely,
one
your
of
mom.
us? Especially your mom. Your mom twice, even.
3 times. Fuck it.
She was only gay 3 times, so I don't think you should actually be allowed to call her gay.
I don't think my mom ever had any. It's
Should
still
ask her.
homosexual. I guess it still is. I'm almost positive my dad might have. He was a heroin addict.
Your dad.
And if he was an addict, he had definitely sucked dick for heroin.
Listen,
Probably.
it's not like it is what it is, man. That's part of the life as an addict. I wouldn't necessarily say it's gay to suck dick for drugs because you're an addict. Like, it's just part of it, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't necessarily, like, you know what I mean? Bro's just trying to get his fix, and this is what he's got to do. You go to work, right? Like, you're a whore. You go to work to be able to pay your bills. It's like that, but with drugs. Well,
I don't
some
pay
of us
anyone
pay
anything.
bills. I
Some
wish
of you
that was
do.
me.
I live with my parents. My parent.
I wish I could have
Your dad's still there.
Yeah, he's still there.
Oh yeah,
He's
he's
there
on the
longer
shelf
than he's
behind
ever
me.
been. But no, I wish I could have like been able to be compatible with my parents to be able to live with them, but like it just wasn't feasible. Like I had to get out as soon as I could. And it sucks because I didn't get to save any money. Like, it really sucks. I wish I could have saved some money. So, you know, be appreciative that you have that.
I am very appreciative because it means I get to blow my money on dumbass video games and
your
a bunch of
mom
others.
gets to blow me.
I still pay rent.
Oh, you pay rent? She make you pay rent?
Not like a lot of rent, but like enough.
I found out years ago that my dad like fucks my brother over with rent. Like my dad's kind of a fucking scumbag.
So, speaking of rent and living with your parents, when I graduated high school, my parents they made me a deal. As long as I continue to stay in school, I won't have to pay rent.
Fair enough.
So,
and how did that work out for you, Mister? I don't even have a degree, and even if I did, I wouldn't be using it.
Well, to be fair, I didn't really have a direction to go with my life at that point. Like, our high school didn't really have a lot of, like, extracurricular stuff other than, like, choir and, like, sports, which I was in choir. I can't sing worth shit, and I was not in sports.
Of course not. I mean,
Or-
we talk
So,
about
like-
anime and video games. We were not sporty people.
Uh,
Eric might have
Speak
been.
for
We
yourself.
But
Speak
anyway,
I was
for
gonna say
yourself.
Eric might have been. Eric definitely like picked up a barbarian axe and went on the football field.
I did play football and I ran track.
to be fair, like, I didn't really have a lot of opportunities to explore, like, things I would be good at or things I would enjoy doing other than, like, video games, because small
Oh, fuck.
town, there's farm for, like, 60 miles either way from where I grew up.
You could have been the world's best cow fucker.
You still had more people in your school than I did in my school growing up, for sure. Because you said you had like over 1,000, right?
I had, like, maybe 40 people in my graduating class.
Total, how many did you have in your school though?
I don't think it was close to 1,000.
Because I know for us, like it was like 400 or 500, like including the junior high students. Like it was a small school. Because I had like maybe 50, but it was closer to 30, 40 people in my graduating class
I
as
want to
well.
say, like, in my high school, like, maybe 200.
Yeah, it was tiny.
Yeah, like,
I just thought like because is like bigger now. I feel like, at least I think it is. I could be wrong.
but yeah, like, there is nothing to do in this town except for work at the local fast food, work at the local supermarket, work at the fucking Walmart, or work a factory job. That was about all there was to do in this town for work.
Yeah,
And
I grew up
you
in the
don't
Ohio River
need-
Valley.
You don't need a diploma to work in a factory.
Yeah, I lived in the Ohio River
Well,
Valley.
no, they used to let children work in factories back in the good old days.
They're trying to bring that back.
Let's go.
But I lived in the Ohio River Valley, and like it's similar to that, except for like meth labs. And
I grew up
instead
next
of
to
corn,
one of those, so it's not all that different.
instead
Been to
of
a few.
like there are a couple cornfields, but because like West Virginia is not as flat as Ohio, like it's a lot more trees and forests and stuff like that, like woods. And like I lived in the woods basically, but very similar vibe as far as like there's nothing to do, and like growing up your prospects are really poor because like either you're going to like work at a gas station, fast food, Walmart, and have a meth lab, or you're going to like go to school and be a nurse, or you're gonna be like what a lot of people think's a good deal is you're gonna work in the coal industry, where you either work at a power plant, which isn't too bad, or you work at a coal mine, which fucking sucks, or you work on a barge, which fucking sucks. And what a barge is it's kids. And the reason why we had so many of them is because you gotta get the coal from the mine to the power plant somehow. And the reason why the barge sucks is because a lot of those jobs are 20 days on, 20 days off. So you're away from home for 20 days, and people's like, oh, but you're at home for 20 days. Yeah, what do you think your wife's doing for those 20 days that you're gone, numbnut?
Banging.
Also, like to boot, like how those jobs work too, because you have 20 days off. Trust me, They're getting their work out of you, so you go to sleep for 8 hours on the boat, and then you wake up and you immediately go back on shift. Like it's really stupid, and it's not a good job. And America has a real problem with focusing on like New York and California as these like wonderful places that like do not give a fuck about small America that is dying every day. Because like now, like in West Virginia, a lot of the reason why people are so poor is because the coal industry has been, you know, turned into a villain. Which yeah, like it does pollute, but like you also got to understand like whole families are employed by that, and when you take that out and you don't replace those jobs with clean energy, like you've just made a family homeless. You've made hundreds of families homeless. So what else do they got to do? They don't have the money to move. Meth. That's the answer. They make meth.
But
you're welcome.
Before we went off the rails there, so when I picked a major in college, like I just kind of went through a couple of like college curriculum books, and it's like, that sounds interesting. I'll go for that. And it was digital media. It was like web page and like graphic design, which I could do. I'm not great at it, but I could probably do it. And I did well in those courses. I completed all the courses, completed them with decent grades, took my capstone course, passed that, and went to like onto the website where it's like, hey, here's your curriculum. Click here to apply for your diploma. Did that. It's like, you are missing this course. Huh, must have missed that when I was going through it. Okay, sign up for that course and get this over with. You can't sign up for that course. Wait, what? You don't meet the prereqs to take that course. It's like, okay, what are the prereqs for it? It's a 101. It's a 101 that I somehow forgot to sign up for during like my first year there. It's like, okay, that's weird. It's a 101 with no prereqs, but I click on it and it's not letting me sign up for it because I don't meet the prereqs. That's got to be a glitch with their system. Let me call somebody. So I call my, what the hell are they called? Advisor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, hey, look, I need to take this course here. It's the only course I have left to take for my diploma, and the website is not letting me on. It is not letting me sign up for it because it says I don't meet the prereqs. It's like, okay, well, let me see what I can do. He signs onto the exact same system that I was on. Yeah, well, it says here that you don't meet the prereqs to take the class. It's like, I know it's saying that. There are no prereqs for that class. It's like, so can you put me in that class so I can graduate? It's like, no, I can't do that because it says you don't meet the prereqs. There are no prereqs for me to take. It is a 101 with no prereqs. Can you put me into that class? It's like, no, there's nothing I can do. It's like, okay, can I speak to somebody else that might be able to help me? I go through like 4 or 5 people, and they tell me the exact same thing.
That's so stupid. Like, yeah, honestly, you should be able to fucking sue them for, like, taking your money.
Yeah, I should be able to get the, like, $60,000 I dropped in their classes. I should be able to get all that back.
Yeah, you should be able to do that because, like, that's such a waste of time. But, like, because of the way things are, like, they're just like, well, you know, like, get fucked.
Yeah. Now, granted, it was a 2-year college class, but because I was working full-time at 2 different locations, I did not take everything all at once like I was supposed to. I spread it out, and it was like a... Yeah, like, it was like a 4 or 5 years to get a 2-year degree. And and I walk away with fucking nothing because the school is just like, yep, there's nothing we can do about it. And then like the following year, like I couldn't even like try. I couldn't even try again because at the end of that school year, I think at the end of that quarter or the end of that semester, they were basically rebranding the school. They changed it from quarters to semesters, and none of the credit hours carried over.
Yeah, that
so
should
if I
be
wanted to do
illegal.
anything, I would have to start all over.
Yeah, that should be illegal. They should be able to be sued for that.
I have a story about prerequisites.
What's the statute of limitations on that?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. It went up yesterday. No, I have a funny story about prerequisite. So in high school, you have to have an art credit, gym credits, and then like not music, but like whatever the other elective thing is that like it's like, why do I need this to graduate?
Language.
This is fucking stupid. No, I didn't need a foreign language. Foreign language was if you wanted to go to college, and not for me. But I whatever the other prerequisite is, doesn't matter. I fucking hate art. It's not that I hate art, it's that I hate being told. You didn't even let me finish. I hate being told what to do in art because art is about being creative. I hate having guidelines to follow in an art class because that defeats the entire purpose of art class. Did Picasso become Picasso by following the rules? No. So fucking let me paint what I want to paint. Anyway, they put me in this class called airbrushing. You guys know what an airbrush is. I'm sure it's... I'm going to explain it anyway.
Explain it to 4-year-olds.
Yeah, you put paint in this little nozzle thing, and it goes... And it, like, sprays paint out of a thing using, like, an air hose or whatever. Almost like spray paint, but with, like, paint meant to do on cloth and stuff, because that's what airbrushing is for, mostly. I mean, you can still paint paintings with them as well.
I was gonna say, you can, it's also used to paint, like, Warhammer minis.
Exactly. But airbrushing, it's a class I didn't like because, once again, I was, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that, and I would purposely not follow the rules, so I passed that class with a D. I didn't pass that class. Like, that teacher didn't like me. We'll call her Mrs. Bitch for this story.
Mrs.
So,
Bitch.
Yeah, Mrs. Bitch, basically one day I was doing the airbrush thing that she wanted me to do, and she's like, hey, Caden, you're using too much paint. If you use that much paint, I'm going to have to charge you for it because it's very expensive paint. And I'm like, I was thinking about throwing hands with her because I'm like, you don't even fucking pay for it. The school paid for it. Fuck you. Anyway.
Maybe the school paid for it. Teachers are expected to pay for a lot of things they shouldn't.
True. But fuck her. She deserved to pay for it if she did. That's not the only reason she was a bitch. But, anyway, come to learn after I passed that class with a D, you're not meant to be in airbrushing until you take Art Foundations 1. You're not allowed to be in any art class until you've taken Art Foundations 1. I took Art Foundations 1, what's the sophomore is year 2, right? My junior year. Yeah, my junior year is when I took it. Sophomore and juniors gets mixed up in my head because that's when COVID was. So like half my sophomore year and like all of my junior year were. So it was my sophomore year then, that I had to do Art Foundations, and that was all online. But I think the only reason they passed me in airbrushing was because they were like, at the end of it, they were like, oh, fuck, he wasn't even meant to be in here. Because it goes Art Foundations, and then it's like, it's like in a video game, it's like, oh, you can level up many abilities, and like, you get your first ability, and then it's got 3 branching pathways. That's how the art class was. You do Art Foundations as your first skill point, and then you get to pick the other ones.
Yeah.
Point is, fuck art classes because they don't let you like have free range with your art because like art is all about being creative. Let me like be a creative little boy.
Yeah, they should teach you like the foundations of like, hey, this is the style that we're going to be doing today. like if you're gonna do like a still not what's the fucking term I'm thinking, like a still life I think is the term I'm looking for, and they're like
Where it's like a bunch of like stuff, like, you know, a bowl of
it's
fruit or
typically like
whatever.
a bowl of fruit is what people do for their first ones of this. I think it's called still life, but
Yeah.
like offer that, but be like, hey, if you want to like turn to your left and do a picture of that dresser there, like as long as you're painting something that is in this style, then cool, go to it.
Yeah. But most
Yeah,
art classes like
curriculums
make
with
you.
art is weird. It really is. I'm kind of not a fan of curriculums as a whole.
Yeah, like I wasn't really all that happy with a lot of my art classes when I was in college because again, it was digital media. It was teaching me how to use Photoshop to like do things and like how to edit photos and whatnot. And one of the tests was, and I understand why it was like this because it was to teach you how to do it in a professional setting, not like just teach you how to do it.
Teach you how to
Right.
Dougie.
But it was like, hey, here's image A. Here's a bunch of things for image B. Take this one from image B, put it on image A. And I don't think the directions were all that like complicated. I don't think a lot of my class failed this test because they couldn't follow the directions. I think they just wanted, because what we were doing, we were taking a hat from the second picture, and it was like a picture of like 4 hats, and there was like a picture of like a wooden doll, like one of those it's one of those like wooden dolls that you use for like drawing poses and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about.
anatomically correct model.
It wasn't even anatomically correct. It was just like, but it was like one of those wooden dolls.
Yeah, it teaches people how to draw proportions. That's why I call it
Yeah.
anatomically correct doll.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're thinking the same thing. But it was just put like the second hat from the second picture onto the wooden doll in picture A, and like every single person's like, okay, there's like 8 hats on here. I'm just gonna pick whichever one I think looks the best and put it on there. And that's what everybody did. Like, and everybody failed that because they couldn't follow instructions. It's like, well, here's the thing. Like, if you're being a professional artist, like in photo editing, like especially if you're like in like logo design, which is what I used to do at my stepdad's print shop, you have to take some artistic liberties.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like, hey, I want this hat on this thing. It's like, okay, yeah, I can do that for you. Here's another hat. Here's a hat I think looks better. Here's a hat that here's like 6 different varieties. Pick the one you like. And ultimately, yes, it would be the client's choice, in this case, the test giver's choice, but like the fact that we can take that image, take that part of the image and put it on the other image should have been enough to pass that test.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed art class, but like I did hate the pretentiousness of judging art in a curriculum space. Like I agree with that. Like it's kind of bogus.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think Caden ever finished his story.
What was my story?
Oh, they passed him. They passed him. He finished
it. You were saying something about your teacher saying you were wasting paint.
Oh yeah. She was like, I was wasting paint because I mean I was using so much of the blue paint for the painting I was supposed to do, and it's like little things like that really piss me off. It's like I'm not really wasting paint. You just think I'm wasting paint because you don't like my art. One of the things that really pissed me off was,
and then he slapped that bitch with a gun.
I pistol whipped that hoe. No, one of the biggest things that pissed me off was she's like, "Oh, I want you to draw cartoon characters for this assignment." And I was like, "Cool, some creative liberty. I can pick a cartoon character." I want to do Red Hood. I don't know who that is, so it doesn't count. Huh? But fuck you mean it doesn't count? I can't do Red Hood because you've never seen Batman under the Red Hood. It's not my fault. You fucking suck.
Yeah, the teacher should have been like, "Show me a reference to."
I showed a picture.
And then I
no,
will
no, that was the
approve it or
thing.
not.
That was the thing. I showed her a picture,
Oh.
and instead of being like, oh yeah, that's like fine, whatever. It wasn't like a matter of, oh, I don't want you to do that because it's like whatever reason. It was quite literally like, I don't want you to do that because I don't know who that is. I don't think that's a fair fucking stipulation.
People are losers.
There's a lot of people who teach as a profession that do it for a power trip.
Yeah. And I don't even remember who the other character was that I did. But I was like, oh well, can I do this character? Like it happened 2 or more times where I was like, can I do this character? I don't know who that is. Pick someone else. And I was just like, fuck it, I'll do SpongeBob because who the fuck doesn't know SpongeBob? And
actually, I'm Mormon, and SpongeBob offends my whole entire culture. Please don't play
totally.
that.
No, the thing that really annoyed me though was there was a kid in there that she took favoritism to, and he picked like the most obscure, like dumbass cartoon that no one's heard of except him, and she approved it because she liked him. And it's like, you won't approve Red Hood, who's like, sure,
it was a hentai
I get
character probably.
I get that maybe you don't know who Red Hood is. Like, you know, that's fair. Not everyone's a Batman fan. However, by not approving Red Hood and then approving obscure 90s comic, not comic, but obscure 90s TV show that, like, no one except 4 people in the 90s actually watched, it's like double standards.
Which one was it? Do you remember?
I don't know.
It was that one character from Bible Black.
Jesus.
It was not Bible Black, that's for sure. Shit, it had like the same art style as like the GameStop pre-owned games characters.
Gross.
Yeah. It might not have been 80s or 90s. I'm definitely like paraphrasing, not paraphrasing, being facetious because I'm angry.
About the GameStop bunny?
It was not the GameStop. It was the Energizer bunny. It was the Energizer bunny, sure. No, but like it was something that no one in the class had heard of. There was at least 2 people in the class who was like, "Yeah, I know Red Hood," and like the other 2 characters I picked, like it was obscure nerdy shit before SpongeBob, but it's not obscure enough to like not be known. Whereas his was like, "Yeah, I don't know who the fuck that is."
Okay, I remember the GameStop bunny now.
She got mad at my buddy once for wasting printer ink when she was doing it on my behalf because I had him print out a photo of Dallas from Payday that said, "Go ahead, start farting," so I could hang it up in the school bathroom.
Eh. Not the best joke, but I get it. But yeah. I don't really have any more on this subject.
Well, the only reason I did the "go ahead, start farting" is because like it was around the time where everyone kept like putting up images of like Shadow the Hedgehog and like Sonic and Shrek in the toilet, and it just said, "Go ahead, whip that cock out," and like I was like, well, like the teachers are getting mad at this because it's saying cock. I wonder if anyone will get mad at like the start farting one. So I did it. And it stayed up for like 3 weeks.
That's are we ready to call it?
I think now's a good point.
Because I feel like we've been running out of steam since I talked about making food.
To be fair, I ran out of steam like 10 minutes into the show, and I've just been kind of like on autopilot.
The game saved.
Yeah, viewers, this has been Unintentionally Offensive. Status quo changed when we adopted Danny, but we fired his ass because Danny sucks.
We fired him out of a cannon, to be exact.
Yeah, we fired him out of a cannon.
Like
He'll be...
Gonzo the Great style into a brick wall. His wife and kids, they're also mute. Like, were crying, but it was like weird crying because like they're mute. So it was just like,
it was just
you know,
silent tears, man. Like when you're angry.
The
But we
first
got him in a
sound he
jar.
made was when he hit that wall.
We got him in a jar. He'll be back next week. But yeah,
we're gonna come in the
that's
jar.
all, folks. Don't worry about the cum in jar.